Welcome to another episode of Criticalist Cast Unhinged, the Unhinged Binge, which is the new name that we have given this show. We're just cycling through names until we find the right one. But today we are going to be talking about Netflix show Tires, the new movie Atlas, and a film on Hulu called Sentinel, and quite a few other things. But we're just going to touch in on things that are streaming. We're going to talk about your reviews and the things that people are talking about within Criticalist. This is just a good time to highlight what is going on within the app and the things that we're watching. So buckle up and we'll go ahead and do it.
Warning. The following show features reviews from wildly unprofessional critics operating without the supervision of professionals. The thoughts and opinions held by these individuals are not to be taken seriously and do not come from a place of intellectual integrity. This show doesn't reflect the opinions of Criticalist or its users. Viewer discretion is advised.
What's up? What's up? What is up, everybody? Sorry, I was just jamming out to our little bop that goes before this. We now have a new system where I can actually hear it. So, anyways, yes, welcome to Unhinged Binge. This is just our chill, easygoing show where we're just talking about stuff that's streaming, things that you might have missed, and things that we might not have even reviewed yet within the app because we haven't finished it, if it's a TV show or if you're Chris and you're just a lazy sack of shit. So, speaking of lazy sacks of shit, here is Chris Kaus. Welcome.
Hi.
And Mr. Matt Verlack.
Hey, everybody.
And I broke the number one YouTube rule, which is saying a swear word within the first X amount of minutes. But I don't care. So, as I said, today we're going to be talking about a slew of things. What we've decided to do is kind of do this round robin format where we just kind of go one after another and we're kind of ping-ponging off each other of the things we've been watching. And if you guys have reviewed or talked about any of the things that we're going to be talking about, then we will kind of highlight, mention you guys, talk about what your reviews are, that sort of thing. And I mentioned in our last review, where you should definitely go check out if you have not, we reviewed Days of Thunder. Now, you might not have seen this movie. You might be like, what is this old thing? It is a critic-hated, audience-loved movie. And I don't want to spoil or anything, but I'll just say it is a worthwhile review, and it actually has some cool connections to Criticalist in itself and just our location and all of that fun stuff. So make sure to go and check out that review as well for Days of Thunder, which we just released. Technically, if you were watching right now, it would have been this past Friday. And let's just go ahead and dig into the stuff we've been watching right now. I'm ready to do it. Chris, you actually, I want to start with you.
Okay.
Because you are going to talk about something called Sentinel, which I have never heard of, and it looks spacey. And as any good conspiracy theorist knows, space is not real and it's all a construct. So go ahead and tell us about how fake space is.
True. All right. Well, buckle in. I'm here to tell you about all the fake shit. Neil deGrasse.
Oh, that guy's full of shit.
That was a Nickelodeon show, right? Neil deGrasse.
Yeah.
Tyson.
Yeah, that was a show.
Yeah. So that's honestly, literally, it's funny that you mentioned that because that's what drew me into it. I was watching a show on Hulu and finished either the season or an episode and just saw it on the homepage and was like, oh, there's a spaceship on it. I'm in the mood for something spaceship.
You should watch this. It's an hour and a half movie, right?
Yes. Very short, very concise.
Yeah. About aliens?
Turns out that it is the most B movie of all B movies that I have ever seen. Like, I remember I grew up in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
That's like my cognitive years, right?
Yeah.
Born in the 80s, blah, blah, blah. There were sci-fi channel movies that were like sci-fi funded movies that were just awful, god-awful sci-fi B movies.
Right, but that are so fun because they're bad. Like Megalodon versus Mecha Shark 5.
Yeah.
Right. Is this so bad it's good, or is this so bad that it's just also bad?
It's so bad it's funny.
Okay.
I was laughing through so much of it just because of how god-awful the dialogue, the acting, the story. Okay, so
I see a photo. Sorry, Matt, you should pull up this picture if you're on the YouTubes. There's a woman standing with a giant, ridiculous-looking gun that says "Bad Girl" on it, and this is the lamest shit I've ever seen ever.
Yeah.
So much more of that.
Ooh. Yes, I almost name dropped somebody who would like this.
Okay.
But just in case,
was it Matt?
Nope. No, much taller.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
But so It is
Oh, you did
short.
review it. You gave it a 5%.
Yeah. No, I've reviewed this.
Only
already.
review.
Yeah. I am the only one to
5%.
have reviewed
Sweet baby
this.
Jesus.
It is
Uh-huh.
so bad. And I'm just going to be kind of replicating what I put in that review. If you
Okay.
want a more condensed version of it,
Yeah.
go there, check it out on criticlist.com or the app on Android or iPhone, Apple.
There you go. I like
Yep,
that.
I got you.
job.
It, it was just funny. That's the only positive out of this. I've literally seen student films that have been more well produced than this.
Right.
The CGI was worse than Furiosa. Can you
Well,
believe it?
yeah, I can believe that.
It's not a multi-million-dollar film.
That's
I'm
some
Yeah,
hoping,
this is
that
probably
is
a
some
homemade
serious
movie.
shade.
hoping.
Like,
That is some
If
serious
it
shade.
cost $1 million to make this movie, they are suffering right now. The concept of the story would be interesting. It has to do with time travel to a certain degree, which is tricky to begin with, much less in this kind of a situation of where it's very, very poorly funded, I will say. So it was a difficult task for them to achieve in a good manner. So
Right. It's kind of one of those things where you're like, you guys might have bit off more than you could chew with a budget of this size.
Mhm.
Like maybe you should have pulled back a little bit and made
Yeah.
your concept not like a moon base and saving Earth and aliens
Yeah.
and
yes,
yeah, but
Yep.
where's the fun in that? It's not fun that way.
There's
Yeah.
so many plot holes, which get exposed kind of by their own negligence throughout the story. I- it- I would. It's hard for me to even say that it could be good. Like even if you threw $1 million out at this or $1 billion at this, and like had Jerry Bruckheimer, just because that's the first name that popped up. It could have been good, but you can tell that this was not created in the US, which, no shame to other countries, even though USA
We're the best.
Yeah.
You guys all suck.
especially whenever it comes to movies. We're kind
Well,
of
but Korea has done a really good job with
Mm.
horror. So maybe they're trying to do some sci-fi. I don't know where this is filmed. It doesn't
oh
look
no, this
Korean.
was Eastern European,
Oh,
so
Okay, never
take
mind.
that with a grain of salt. No offense, Eastern Europeans here. I'm not
There you
being.
go. You're offending them.
You guys suck.
Look, you got kicked out of the USSR.
Yeah.
You can't make movies. No, so it's hilariously bad.
So really bad. So
yeah.
you would recommend that folks do not watch Sentinel on Hulu?
No, I would not, unless you just literally want to. Okay, get shit faced, drunk.
Right.
Watch this for a laugh. It can be like one of those like bad movie viewing parties or something.
Yeah.
People
It's
do
like
that,
watching The Door, right? Or
right.
The Room.
The room. Yeah,
Sorry.
Yeah.
The Door.
could be.
Almost as
Actually,
good.
funny story. I saw the guy who that movie is actually
yeah.
about at a con recently.
Really?
I just walked right past him and I was like, "Holy shit, that's that guy!"
Yeah.
And it was really weird.
Mike Wachowski or
I don't know what his
Mike
name is.
something.
Yeah, it's
That
not
was-
Wachowski.
that
I
was-
don't think,
No,
but
That's Monsters Incorporated.
yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
Um,
But yes, I did see him. He was doing like a panel, and I walked right past him. I was like, "Oh, hey, that's the guy." And then I just kept walking because I wasn't that interested.
Sure.
But
Yeah.
Yeah.
as it goes. So don't watch Sentinel then.
God no. Especially if you want space sci-fi. The amount of scenes in this movie that take place in a spaceship
Mhm.
or in space,
Mhm.
not counting the moon because that's just a room.
The
It's
moon is a room.
yeah
Talk
for
about
this movie.
conspiracy
It
theories here.
sure is.
That sounds accurate because
Kubrick
the moon isn't real.
Could
So
have done a better job.
well, as we know, I mean that's the best
He did
sham ever.
do a better.
He did the best job.
Yeah.
All right, interesting. Yeah,
Yeah.
so you said a bit more language, a bit more violence, a bit of nudity.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
do we at least get like tits in
Boob?
this terrible movie?
Yes, you
Yeah,
do.
some
Actually,
schlong?
within
Like, do we get a
well,
schlongometer?
sadly, no dick.
No.
There's rarely dicks in movies.
Listen,
Not that like I'm pulling for that, but for equality
I'm pulling on
purposes,
dick.
listen, talk for yourself.
I
here.
am. That's why I would have the camera on me. For equality reasons, there
yes.
should be more dicks
Yes.
and boobs. Like this just be the
We got a
should be
dick to tit ratio.
dick for tat.
Yeah.
Well,
dick for tit. Dick for
yeah,
tit.
yeah.
Yeah.
A tit
Tit
for
for dick.
dick.
Tit for dick
Fine.
ratio.
Wow.
Yeah, you were almost there. I got you there. Though. So, but there's
The
also
name of Matt's sex tape.
there's also a spectrum of like value. This is a risky territory I'm going into. Risky value as far as rating goes in movies. So like tits, not that high. You like it's R, right?
So you're
You
saying
can
like these aren't great tits, or like there's just like
no, it's just what society has placed the value on. This is not a personal
Can you speak?
personal
Yes.
representation
A
of my
personal recipe
opinion.
of tits.
It's not
Yes.
a personable recipe at all. It's not my opinion on
Yes.
bodily organs.
Uh-huh.
But in society and filmmaking,
Mhm.
tits are pretty low as far as
Okay.
you can still get R, right?
Right.
Maybe even PG-13.
Right.
Side boobs, as we've seen in our
Yeah.
last review.
Right. So are you
But-
pushing for labia in film? Is that what's happening here?
I'm not pushing for anything. I'm pushing P, but I'm not pushing for really anything. I'm just saying that there is a spectrum. So like this is rated in R, I think.
Okay.
Interesting.
Pretty
No,
sure. So
there is no rating that I see.
It's not rated
Okay.
in R. That's what that stands for.
Okay.
Learning opportunity.
Yes.
So you could get away with a dick in an R movie.
Mhm.
So it's just about the rating, right? So
Right.
dicks have a higher rating,
course.
just like
Mhm.
labia. Like,
Right.
do you not ever see the old meat flaps
Oh,
in a movie?
no,
unless
it's
it's in R.
They make sure that it is
Oh,
bushy.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like you ain't gonna see
Yeah.
the mud flaps. Like you know what I'm saying?
Or your thighs are so
So
tight
tight.
together that it's
Yeah.
so tight
So
for you.
tight.
So tight. It's a always sunny reference there.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yeah, so there is within the first 5 minutes
Mhm.
tits.
Okay.
And as I put in my review of the nudity sexual scene,
Yes.
there's a little tongue twister action that's
Okay.
implied.
You
under
say
the cover.
tatas and under the blanket la déjeuner in for
Flawless French. Yes,
Yes.
it's essentially eating fur is in French. But
the
so it's a
I'm
lesbian couple.
munching.
yes,
Carpet munching.
yes, there we go.
Yeah,
You
you
said
want to be
it before.
crude about it.
Be
You got to
crude.
say it in French, and it sounds elegant, beautiful.
What can I
but yeah,
say?
so it's
You're like flossing with fuzz. You know what we're saying?
yes,
That's it.
exactly.
Okay. I get you.
Pube salad could
Yeah.
be.
Mm.
But so as I also put in my review, it's kind of it gives off the vibes of a softcore porn,
Okay.
but with less porn or less nudity, less sex,
Mhm.
and a better story.
Okay.
Or
Better
actually, I'm
story?
sorry, a worse story.
I was about to say,
yeah.
It's
you just
a
lost
worse
what you're
story.
talking about.
Yeah, I
You're just
forgot
over
what I
here
put in
just
it.
dreaming about
It's
something
in the
else.
review.
So in
Just go to
other words,
Craigslist.
what you're saying is what you should really do is go out and find yourself a good hardcore sci-fi porn.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, 100%.
Okay. Makes sense. Okay. So what I am going to talk
Wait.
about-
I actually
Yes. Go ahead.
let me actually talk about my thing.
Okay. Go ahead. You first.
Because it kind of
Yeah.
ties into it. You
Okay.
watched a shitty sci-fi,
Mhm.
Yes.
so I watched Atlas.
Okay. The also shitty sci-fi that only you and Xena liked, right?
Yeah, I don't understand why people don't like this so much. I think people are just up in arms. Most of the reviews were like, "Oh, we've seen this movie before,"
Right.
As in, it's been
as if we've not seen every movie before because there's nothing original
I mean,
anymore.
pretty much not, unless you're.
So
Pacific
you
Rim,
guys
then
can go
it
ahead
does
and
seem
hop
over.
off of that
Yeah.
high horse.
Right.
But
That is a
like,
horse.
so this premise is that the world has AI robots, and J-Lo is her mom created like the first like AI like sentient bot.
Yeah.
Well, that bot became truly sentient and did the classic all humans are the problem.
sure.
So I'm
It's a
going
fact.
to annihilate all humans. Well, the human's able to like defeat it, and so his name is Harlan, and he goes to a different planet.
Okay.
And they've been hunting for him because his last words were, "I will come back and I will finish what I started."
So he's Jesus.
yeah, killing all humans.
Yeah.
And is played by Simu Liu, who is Shang-Chi.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
Yes. Yeah. And he does a pretty good job as a villain because he's kind of just like an emotionless, kind of robot kind of deal.
And this movie also stars Sterling K. Brown, who has a phenomenal resting asshole face. You know, we have resting bitch face,
Yeah.
but like he has resting asshole face, and
Like
it
this?
is impressive.
Does it
Yeah.
look like this?
Pretty much, yes. This guy looks perpetually angry as fuck.
I thought you meant he actually looked
Yeah.
like an asshole.
Oh no, he just doesn't. I don't.
Oh.
Oh wait, they posted a picture of him kind of sort of smiling.
That's his face most of the
That's
time. 'cause he's
like
always
as
kind of
close
this
to a
humorous
smile
look.
as you can get.
Yeah. He always has this humorous look on his face. But so anyway, so the story is that they figured out where Harlan is, and that they're gonna go find him. And they're like, J-Lo, you need to come with us. And she's like, okay. But then she's like, I deeply distrust AI.
Makes
And
sense.
they have found a way to make a bridge between AI and humans where it's like a two-way bridge.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you interact with each other. And she's like, fuck no. And she's crazy. She's like hardcore anti. She like rants and raves and stuff. And I'm like,
Sure.
okay. I mean, this is kind of cool because it's very not, you don't see that very often in a movie where somebody just rants and raves. That's
About
the main
being
character.
against
Just in
AI.
general.
You're right. And
Okay.
she does. Every time they're like, she's kind of crazy. Maybe we
Unless
should
you watch
let her
Always
talk.
Sunny, and then it's every character that rants and
Yeah,
raves.
that's
Right.
cool.
So this is probably for
Yeah.
people that like Always Sunny.
I guess so.
But anyway, so they go, but it's cool because it's giant mechs.
Oh, nice.
There's giant mech suits that are the
Gundam?
AIs, and they get in them, and they're like partnering with these giant AI, and they're giants. And then they
That
go on this
sounds-
planet, and it's basically what's that video game? Titanfall.
Okay.
It's basically Titanfall
Okay.
on a different planet.
This movie is also, if you have not seen online, is getting next level hate. Like they're like, this is one of the worst movies
Dude,
ever made.
I don't get it.
Wow.
Like,
And I saw somebody being like, "Oh, it's woke." So one of the AI bots, so J-Lo's character, as I've already stated multiple times, hates AI.
Sure.
And one of the AIs was like, "Hey, my pronoun isn't it. I am a she/her." And it's literally that long. It's
Okay.
literally
Sounds
5
woke, man.
seconds.
just don't
And
even watch it.
everybody, I saw
So
multiple,
woke.
and people were like, "That's woke.
This is
That's woke."
One line.
AI said it's a she/her.
He was all Blaine. He was
Yeah.
like just multiple accounts
Yeah.
saying the same
No,
thing.
listen,
It's just like,
listen. Let me tell you this. If you encounter any of the circles that we have run in lately, you would realize that I am the least politically motivated person you have ever encountered.
Yeah.
Like it would impress you. It would impress you.
that's why I don't run in circles. I run in a straight line, baby.
Just run in a straight line.
No goal in mind.
Yeah,
Just
just
run.
run.
like
Just run.
Forrest
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just keep running.
But this movie does cool things. Like it shows that she doesn't know how to use the mech suit because she's not a soldier, and so
Because
she
she's
ends
a
up.
woman.
Oh no, there's other women. Wow, way to be sexist.
Oh, sorry.
Wow.
This is a known thing from this podcast at this point, Matt. Come on, where are you at?
Yeah, we have to keep
Every-
up the joke.
We have to. Everyone knows that women, just can't.
What? Can't
They
use
just
mech
can't. No,
suits?
just can't. That's where the sentence
Wow.
stops. Period.
Yeah.
They can't.
Girl.
But and so like that's when I was reading other people's reviews. I was just like, okay, they didn't like that she was freaking out the whole time. I'm like, oh, why wouldn't she? She's literally having this is filmed like she was having a natural response to the things that were happening to her.
I need to know. The Giles who reviewed this said no taco flavored kisses here.
Bro, no idea.
Does that no? Okay, nothing to do with this movie.
Maybe he's talking about like
There's no lesbians.
lesbian interaction,
Oh,
and she's not a lesbian. They never bring up her sexuality.
talking about like
Well, he said there's no, right?
he said no taco flavored
Yeah.
kisses.
You're right, but that Mexican lesbians?
Scissoring.
What?
Is this
What?
a racist scissoring comment?
Look,
I don't know. I saw that and I literally blinked
I don't
on
know.
it.
I was
have
curious.
no
I just
idea.
wanted to know. I was like, this is a very strange statement, but
Is that
yeah,
an
you know, shout
AI
out.
that's saying that?
Right? Is it? No. Well, we actually have a rather. I haven't seen him lately.
No, he stopped.
Oh,
I
did
think
he?
yeah, I think he stopped.
Talking
I
about
think he did it
John?
for like a week and
Oh, we have an account that is been making AI reviews, but he's caught a lot of flack.
Oh,
But it's very interesting. He's been giving it like prompts and certain things to direct it, and then
And he puts a disclaimer at the
he
the
does.
beginning.
Well,
of-
we
heckled them because
shamed
we
him
were
into
like,
a
this is
disclaimer.
crap. Get out of here.
Yeah.
Well, we were kind of like, look, you should at least.
Rude.
Yeah, I know. But I didn't say that, but yeah. We kind of warned him. And Matt did say that. Matt
That
shamed him.
fits.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it does fit. It
Yeah, because we're a reviewing site.
mean, that's
and
true.
he
We
was
don't
out
want-
here just firing bogus reviews.
Right. Which it sounds like he was actually what he was doing was having the AI base it off of his actual opinion and then cultivating a review based off that. I think.
I think that's what he was doing, but that's not what he said originally.
Right.
Because originally he didn't say anything.
I think
He
we
was
made him
firing.
pivot a little bit,
Yeah.
but I don't know.
So essentially, what we're saying is that Matt is J-Lo from this movie
Yes.
because he hates AI
yes.
and he's confused.
And
right?
he
Yeah.
scissors with Mexican ladies.
Brother,
Well, for tacos.
I mean, sign me up. I've always said that I'm a lesbian in a man's body, but
I know.
yeah,
I mean, I'm
maybe
toast
throw
lesbians.
tacos.
So what you're saying is that this movie isn't as bad as everyone says.
Yeah, and then there are parts that aren't great. Some of the dialogue is pretty bad and campy.
And for you to say that, that is a big statement.
Yeah,
Everyone
and so I
needs
will
to
acknowledge
know.
it. Like I will acknowledge it. Like Zena and I watched it together, and we were like, "This dialogue is pretty bad."
Okay.
And this is a CGI fest, but it's good CGI. And this
Okay.
is a futuristic movie. This takes place 60, 80, 100 years in the future, something like that. And it's a lot of CGI, but it is well done
Okay.
for the most part.
Yeah.
Like I just don't. I mean, unless you don't like J-Lo's acting, because I will say maybe over half the movie is her just kind of talking to Smith, her AI.
Will Smith?
No.
Oh.
The AI Smith.
Okay.
Which, and we also had 300 Mirrors. She came in here and gave it a high review too, and she was just kind of basically like, "Man, I like everybody was talking crap, and like I wanted to laugh at this, but I kind of liked it. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't hate it." And so she surprised me in y'all's review, and it was like I'd seen so many bad ones, and then a couple of you guys, there are some decents and stuff, and that's the thing is why I created the scale the way that I did, where it's like if you're in the 50%, like it means like you might like this. Like it's not
It's still
terrible.
good.
It's still good. Like it's still watchable. I heard someone describe this as like a movie to watch while you're doing laundry. Is that a good representation?
No.
No,
No.
no.
This is a movie you should sit down and actually
Oh, you
watch
actually watch?
because
Wait,
it's very interesting
which
to
also to
watch.
say this, like you and your wife have two of the highest scores within Criticalist outside of Banjo
I
Sandwich.
don't understand. I still
Banjo
don't.
is
I need you guys to watch this.
on
Maybe
another
just
level.
sit me down and be like, Matt, you're wrong.
What's this on?
Netflix.
No, it's
This is a
Netflix
Netflix original. Like
All right.
it came out last week, and I just don't understand why people are tearing it up.
I'll try and check it out while I'm doing laundry.
Okay, do it. Do
Blaine
it. Do it,
doing
do it.
laundry. Can you imagine?
Listen, no, actually, ask my wife. I'm the only person that does laundry around here.
Well,
so,
actually, yeah, that actually checks
does
out
that
now.
track? Yeah. I'm the only one. Actually, well, lately I've been bitching a lot, so
Yeah.
I've not been.
Also checks out.
Very much checks out. So I actually want to pivot to another
Yeah, let's go to the
Netflix
next
thing,
thing.
which is a show. I don't know. I mentioned it before we started. It sounded like neither one of you have heard about it. It's a show called Tires.
Yeah.
Now, I feel like after the last episode and this episode, I'm just like really divulging a whole lot about me as a person in general and my past and history. But this show, talk about some shit I relate to. This show is called Tires, and it's about just a bunch of dudes that work in a shop.
Yeah.
I worked in a shop for 6 years or five or 6 years. I don't even know how long. It was a chunk of my life that was it was a wild time. I'll say this, like when I worked in this shop, Chris failed a drug test for this shop. We've yet to figure that out.
No, I pee cold. It's
Yeah.
just a genetic thing, and they discriminated me. So really, I should
You should
get
You
a
should sue
lawsuit
them.
against them. Yeah.
You should sue them.
Yeah.
But so I worked for Honda for a long time. We tried to get Chris a job, and they said his pee was too cold, and he never got the job.
Yeah.
It was kind of baffling because we had a bunch of fucking idiots that worked there.
Mhm.
But so I worked for Honda, and so I saw this show. It's called Tires, and the big thing about Tires, the draw, is that this stars Shane Gillis. He's an executive producer. If you know anything about Shane Gillis, he is the dude right now. Like
Right.
he's a pretty big comedian right now. And I was like, hey, Shane's in it. I'll fucking watch it. Let me tell you, as someone who has worked in a shop, this is the most accurate depiction I have ever seen in my life of a shop. This show is as un-PC as you can imagine. Like, it is not politically correct. It will fucking offend people. It will be offensive. It will step on toes. It will talk about race. It will talk about fucking everything. Like, they will offend people. I mean, I came from working in a shop to working in a more corporate job, and I almost got fucking fired because I came from this environment and like did not know how to interact with the real people. And they were like, you got to get your shit together. This is not how real people act.
And
Like,
we're still saying that to this day.
this day.
Still hasn't
Yeah.
learned it.
No.
And
And
here we have Blaine.
Yeah, I refuse to. I'm just going to wear a white collar and pretend, but I am blue collar to my core. Like, it doesn't get more blue collar than this. But this show is really like an analysis of like the blue collar world. Like, they are throwing around racial slurs. Like, they are not giving a shit. And this show, I watched, it's only 6 episodes. They're 30 minutes long. But the first episode, I laughed so fucking hard. Like, I messaged guys that I worked in the shop with back in the day. And I was like, y'all got to watch this show right now. Like, one of my buddies that was in my wedding messaged back, and he was like, oh my God, this is the funniest shit I've ever seen. This is just like working in the shop. Like, message back. So it's like, this is real life. Like, this show, I don't know if Shane worked in a show or worked in like a tire shop, or I don't know, but clearly they have some people with insight. Almost everybody in this show is a nobody. Like literally don't have pictures on IMDb. They don't have pictures on Criticalist. Like they're nobodies.
Yeah.
And
They're all just shop people.
Literally just hired a shop.
Yeah.
and like the jokes that they tell are so on the nose. Like I could tell you jokes that I heard back in the shop, like just saying weird shit that I heard working in a shop that you would never in your life ever hear anybody say, that you would just be like, who the fuck says that? And they say it in the show. And so like I don't know how this show will land with regular people, but I've seen like 3 or 4 episodes now and I was just cackling, like by myself, just laughing. Like this is the most real life shit I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And so I think it's worth watching. If you like Shane Gillis, if you like non-PC comedy, this show's totally worth watching.
Did you watch it with your wife?
No.
Has she seen any of it? It's just you?
She hasn't. I watched it by myself. I told her, I was like telling her about it. I was like, I don't know if you'll like it. It's really crude. Like I was watching it in the office today because I wanted to watch like one more episode so that I could accurately speak on it.
Yeah.
And like my sister Ashton walked in and it was just Shane Gillis standing there, be like, and like she walked in and she just stood there and he just kept going, and he was just like pretending to hump things. And I was just like, I looked at her, I was like, do you need something? Or she was just like, shook her head and was like, so I need you to do something for me. But I was just like, this is a perfect time for you to walk in. Really awkward and weird. But this show's funny as shit. Like, which Matt, you said.
So I did watch an episode.
Okay. Which Matt, okay.
Historically.
Okay. Yes. Historically.
Famously,
Matt does not know comedy. He doesn't know what's funny.
The best comic. He knows humor like no other.
So you really didn't find it funny? You didn't like?
Not really. I tried. Like we watched an episode. Xena fell asleep.
Okay.
Well, she like intended to fall asleep. I was like, oh, I'm gonna take a nap, and I was like, I'll put tires on. I've heard good things, and I was like, maybe this will be a raw comedy I'll appreciate.
Right.
And I didn't laugh the whole episode.
That is wild.
Yeah.
I laughed so much that like I was shocked at how much I laughed.
I guess I was just uncomfortable.
Oh, well, you don't like uncomfortable things. You don't like being uncomfortable.
If
there is anything to define about working in a shop, it is uncomfortable. You will just be standing there and all of a sudden you'll just hear some random fucking weirdo be like, oh my God, that girl's so hot, I'd suck a fart out of her butt. And you're just like, oh. Like that is not working in a shop. No, yeah. I mean, I say it all the time.
Normal.
Yeah, so I mean that's working in a shop, and like that's what this show is.
Yeah,
like I mean some of the weirdest shit that has ever happened in my entire life, the weirdest shit I've seen, heard, said, happened in a shop.
Yeah,
like, and that's what this show is.
Yeah,
so
yeah, I don't plan to watch any more of it. I didn't find it funny. I was like, this is yeah.
So you would not.
But I was like,
shop.
Yeah. I mean, I probably would. I'd probably just be that quiet guy in the corner. Like, that's a weird guy.
Right.
Matt over there.
He just doesn't talk.
He'll say a quip.
He just actually works instead of talking about sucking farts.
For some reason, everyone the management likes him because he like gets things done on time.
Well, and there's a lot of like there's jokes like that in this show as it goes along.
Honestly, I would probably be in the first episode, there was like the 3 guys.
Right.
And there was the one guy constantly be like, don't do that.
Yeah.
That's not a good idea.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
AKA the buzzkill?
Yes. Facts. Like I kind of hate
the logic dude, and that literally me. I was like, yes, listen to that guy.
Like to this day, I still hate that you did not get the job at the shop that we worked at.
It would have been a lot of fun.
It would have been so much fun. Like
my whole life would have changed.
It honestly,
I would not be where I am today.
You would not.
Making so much money working for the government.
You wouldn't be a Fed.
Yeah, true. I wouldn't be a Fed.
Right. He might be a Fed that rotates tires. You know,
I'd be a Fed as in I'd be in federal prison. But
I mean, that is a
little different.
Like the shit that we got into, the crazy stuff that I did working in a shop, and that is what a lot of this show is, and that's why it's so fun. Like I mean, like it was kind of one of those things where like I met some really good buddies. Like multiple of those guys were in my wedding.
Yeah.
Like I'm not even really, I don't hang out with those guys. Y'all know, like I'm not like homies with those guys, but like we were so tight. It was like a family. And that's the thing that they show in the show where like they all kind of fucking hate each other. But like when the quote unquote, when the rubber meets the road, like in tires, like these characters like go to bat for each other. And they're just like, I'm going to like jump in front of a train for you. But like also you're a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Like,
but I'm also going to make you pay for it,
right,
and miserable while I'm doing it for
right.
you.
And I'm gonna like the stuff that they do in this, where like they're walking in front of customers and just being like completely uncomfortable and saying just crazy shit. Like that's the type of stuff that would happen, or like
Yeah.
you'd be talking to a customer and somebody would be behind her like pretending to jack off or like whatever. Like that shit happened every day. And so it's weirdly real life. And so I don't know. I feel like I've been on a tangent about this, but this show kind of
So okay,
hit in a weird way for me.
you're 4 episodes in. There's
Yeah.
6 episodes.
Yeah.
So you're basically there. What are you
Right.
gonna rate it?
I would give it somewhere in the most excellent territory.
Okay.
Just
Yeah.
due to like comedic accuracy.
Yeah.
Like it was just such a weird thing of like, oh my God, you put me back in this world.
Yeah.
And like the buddy that I messaged, he married his wife who also worked in a shop.
He married
his wife, believe it or not.
What a lunatic.
Holy shit.
This
Yeah.
is unheard of.
Yeah, he doesn't have sex with her though. They
No,
don't do
no.
that. That's
I
like,
mean,
God.
That's
yeah.
typical.
who would expect that? But no, yeah, he literally messaged me back and he's like, I watched the first one. This is the funniest shit I've ever seen. I'm gonna watch all the rest of this with my wife. Because like she worked in the shop too.
Yeah.
And that was she was like behind the counter. But
A shop
you know,
bunny.
she was a white collar, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
One of those. But
Paper
Puerto
pushers.
Rican?
yeah. No.
You know what I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking about.
Okay.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. You know what I'm saying?
Senior wig.
Oh yeah.
The old
Yeah.
gorilla.
Oh yeah, we don't talk about that on the air or elsewhere.
So I'm at a very conundrum situation here
Yes.
of Matt doesn't know anything about humor.
Yes.
Mhm.
So don't trust that.
Right. I'm a little too close to
And
this.
Matt and Blaine,
Yes.
your humor just doesn't hit with me all the time.
Right.
Many times.
Yeah.
A lot of
sure.
times.
Yeah.
All the time. So should I watch this?
I
Is the
would-
question. I'll give it probably a
Ooh.
one episode, just
Do it.
like
I would
Matt
say
did.
20 minutes.
This is easy enough.
Yeah.
Do you like Shane Gillis?
He's got his moments.
And do you find like raunchy and or edgy humor funny?
If it's done well. If
Okay.
that's the primary focus and that's what they're like leveraging the show on, not so much.
I'd
But if
say
it
this,
feeds
either-
into it appropriately, I would.
You will know by episode 2.
Yeah.
Whether you'll like it or not.
Okay.
I think there's enough of a story. It's literally just about them keeping this tire shop alive.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah.
you will know. And it's 30 to 20-minute episodes.
And what's
there's
it
only
on?
6 on Netflix.
Netflix.
So it's an easy
Again.
watch. Yeah.
Netflix.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Netflix has got some stuff coming out right now. So I think it's worth giving it a go if you like comedy.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I know that I'm a little too close to the subject matter, but like, so it was a weird thing for me where I wasn't expecting to like it this much. I actually wasn't even that excited about it. And
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, this is so funny to me. Like,
Yeah.
this is kind of weird.
Yeah.
And so,
Okay.
I don't know. Yeah. I would be interested to see
I'll
what
give
you
it a
think as
shot.
like a third party.
Yeah.
So
I'll have to remember to give
Right.
it a shot. but
remember to
I'll-
give it a
I'll
shot. You'll probably see it because they're trying to push it pretty hard right now. I do find it interesting as well with it being like a bunch of nobodies. Like he's executive producing it. Like it's just it seems very raw. There's a lot of improv clearly in the show. There's a lot of jokes about all kinds of types of people. Like
Yeah.
there's a joke that they make that hit really hard with me where he's like, I can promise you that any car that comes in here, I can tell you the race of the person that drives this car. And they're like, holy shit, bro, that is so racist. This is literally a game that we would play when I worked in the shop. It is not a joke, and it is a skill that you can acquire.
Yeah.
And like he plays the game, and like every time you're like, oh, I know that person. I know who drives that car. Like as he does it, and they don't even name the races, and you still are like, oh yeah, that's who drives it. Like so, that's the kind of humor
Yeah.
is like
Sure.
by episode 2, but like it is a weird thing where it's just so nail on the head for me
Right.
that it was just it was cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and we do have a review right now. Samwise Kiji has
Yeah.
reviewed it. He gave it a 76%, and he seems to like it pretty well. He's watched the first 4 episodes, or no, he watched the 4 episodes of Rings of Power, hated the shit out of it, and turned around and watched this because he wanted something to make him feel better.
Something in the same genre,
Right.
fantasy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he wanted something to make himself feel better, and so he watched this show, and he just binged it and actually watched all of it, and from what I gather really liked it. But the few things that he didn't like was he was like, it's 6 episodes at 20 minutes and I wanted more. Like
Yeah.
that was his only real complaint.
Wow.
So he really had fun.
Well, it is interesting that they did a 6 episode.
I've never seen a 6
for
episode
20 minutes.
20 minutes.
It's an
That's
hour and
wild.
a half.
Right.
What? But for a comedy, I would get like 10 episodes of 30 minutes.
Right. This is
You know, something
essentially
like that.
Sure.
this is essentially just a movie broken into pieces.
Yeah.
A short movie.
Yeah, short movie.
A short movie, a short comedy.
Yeah.
And maybe that's what it was. Maybe they filmed it as a comedy and they're like, let's just break this up and release it as a show.
Mm.
Yeah, it's really kind of just like a comedy special,
Yeah.
like a Shane Gillis special
Yeah.
that he just made into having more story.
And I don't want to say this. I know that this has actually gone a little longer than I expected, but I do want to. I'm very curious when you watch it. The main kind of character,
Yeah.
he's the manager. He has very interesting hands and or wrists.
Okay.
I feel like he has some sort of something, and I want to know if it is. He has the biggest hands I've ever seen,
Gigantism,
but he's like
or
tiny.
elephantitis.
Well, he holds his hands really interesting, and so I'm
Mm.
curious if he has some kind of something. But I tried to research him, and
Is he a
he's
dwarf?
not really acted in anything. So
No,
no,
he's a
he's
big
not.
guy.
He's not huge, but he's not. He's skinny, but he's like a little bit shorter than Shane Gillis.
Probably elephantitis.
He has something, and I was just very confused because like I kept seeing his hands, and I'm like, what are those hands?
He's actually a crab.
He might be a crab.
Yeah.
Crab man.
Human
So
crab.
Chris,
Yeah.
word on the street is that you rewatched Collateral.
Sure did, brother. Listening to a podcast got me interested in it because
Ooh.
on this other podcast,
You listen to other podcasts?
Yeah,
Are we allowed to do that?
I
Mm.
only listen to other.
Oh, okay,
podcasts.
that
I
makes
don't
sense.
listen to this shit.
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
I don't want to hear my voice.
Fuck
Are you
these
kidding
guys.
me right now?
They suck.
I hate my voice.
Yes, I mean, true.
So it kind of got me on the track of wanting to hear it or watch
Watch
it.
Collateral.
Not.
And Collateral is the 2004 film starring Tom Cruise with gray spiky hair.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yep. And Jamie Foxx.
Yes.
And I'm sure there's other people in there that are more
Jada
well
Pinkett
known.
Smith, Mark Ruffalo, Peter Berg, Javier
Ruffalo.
Bardem, Bruce McGill. There are a lot of famous people in this.
Yeah, Ruffalo is in there, not Ruffalo. Whatever you said.
No
but-
one cares.
So Ruffalo, yeah.
Yes, this is
so.
on Paramount Plus
Yep.
streaming right now, actually currently, and that's the main like if you pay for it kind of a place that it's at right now.
Yeah, you could be a pirate and watch
You
it.
could
But it is Paramount.
sail the
easy.
7 seas, as one
Yeah.
would say.
Yep. It is good. It's good to go back to it. I really enjoyed it even now. I know that I really liked it watching it in my when did it come out?
It's about a
2008?
hitman, right,
20?
or an assassin?
Yeah, so T. Cruz is an
Yes.
assassin
Mhm.
and he kidnaps a taxi driver to
Yes.
drive him around to make hits. The age-old story we all know about,
Yeah.
love and joy.
Of murder.
Of murder. But it's I don't know. There is depth to it.
Isn't it kind of a noir type of film? It's very dark, I remember,
It-
and kind of gritty.
Yeah, it can be. Yeah, at point. I wouldn't categorize it as a noir.
Okay.
It's more of just an action drama, I would
Okay.
say. But there's depth to it as far as characters and what they portray, as far as Tom Cruise being very sure of himself and masculine forward, making decisions and just living life on the edge of his seat.
Being a badass.
Yeah, essentially.
I
being-
remember liking it a lot back in the
Yeah.
day.
Yeah, and
Does it hold up?
yeah, I think it would. It kind of hits that weird middle place with action and drama to where there's not enough action to keep people interested constantly.
Okay.
But I think drama people, if you're more so on the drama side of it, you're going to be more interested in it because there's a lot of story and character development
Mhm.
that is more interesting than the action itself because
Okay.
it's not nonstop murder and shootouts and stuff like that.
Right.
So it is more of character development, and that's the focal point of it for sure. Because Jamie Foxx's character is very meek and timid, and he's kind of in a position where he's a taxi driver and he has a goal in mind and he's trying to reach that goal. But he tells everybody that him being a taxi driver is a temporary thing, just to get some extra cash. But he's been doing it for 16 years. So
Uh-oh.
it's like, and
Right.
T. Cruz is giving a hard time about it and trying to being like, dude, bro, you're like, you can die at any point. Like, fucking do the shit you want to do. So it's like a motivational,
Right.
like there's a motivational
The
message
old
there
Walkie
of like,
Millers.
yeah, of like under threat of death, you
Yeah.
should probably follow your dreams and stop just making excuses for things. So there's a good story behind it, and it's very entertaining, very well acted by
And it's
all of them.
a Michael Mann movie who has
done a lot of, he did Last of the Mohicans and Heat and Ali, and he's Miami Vice. Like, he's done a lot of big movies over the years.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I mean,
So I mean, I would,
filmmaker.
if you haven't seen it, I would definitely say just check it out. It's a good story, well acted. Yeah, there's really no complaints
Mm-hmm.
that I have. I would say it's, if you're looking for action, it's going to be a little slow for you, but there are it's more of a drama action than an action drama.
So how are you gonna rate it?
Going
we're
to?
getting- yeah,
You
you
think I'm going to review this?
We're at 7. We're at 7 voters. If you put it at 8 and we get 2 more, we will have an official score for a little while.
If
Yeah.
if
Take
I
10.
review and then 2
2
more
more.
people.
Yeah,
Me and
take
Matt.
10.
All right. Yeah, y'all watch it.
I'll watch it again.
Okay, if y'all promise to review it, watch it and review it, then I'll review it.
Matt was like, I have not heard about any vampires, swords, lasers.
If
space
there are
monsters."
assassinations,
He
like he's an
literally said it
assassin.
doesn't have action in it. This
There-
sounds like a boring.
Listen, I can say
movie.
this. You gave a good review to that dog shit Hitman movie that came out this year, and
Oh, that was an
that
interesting
movie's
movie.
fucking terrible.
What?
It is
no, it's not.
Fucking awful. What was that movie?
I don't remember its name.
It's so bad.
It was not a bad
Hold
movie. It was
on.
very stylized.
No, it's so
It's
bad.
artistically done.
It's fucking terrible.
It was a good movie.
No,
bet
it
it's bad.
wasn't. It was by what's his face? Oh my god, Matt, why have you done
John
so many
Woo.
reviews on-
Fassbender is the main person.
Yeah,
Dude,
that's easy.
Because I'm a
Oh,
chronic
wait.
reviewer.
I watched that too.
Yeah, I don't know what it's called.
Yeah.
What's it called?
I don't know.
Chris has reviewed it then. Well, did you
Yeah.
review it?
No, I didn't.
I can tell you that the movie that he's talking about is better than the one that you're talking about.
Where Fassbender is an assassin, and
Yeah.
it starts off with him
It's
like
fucking
in a
boring
room
as shit.
sleeping. Yeah, it's
Yes,
very
that's
boring.
such a
It's
good
so
movie.
boring. It is one of the most boring movies I've ever seen. The fact that you like it blows my mind.
No, it is.
I
not
literally
a boring
can't
movie.
think of a more boring movie.
That was not
Okay,
a boring
so-
movie.
Calling it
Awful.
such a good movie is
Yeah.
the wild overstatement.
Overstatement.
Yeah.
Wild.
Go read my review.
Vaguely
Wow.
good would be okay.
I'm looking
like,
for it. I can't. I
it's
can
got
find
the-
it here.
tinges. It's like if there was a good movie playing in the next room,
Yes.
maybe.
God, what is this movie called? I'm like having trouble finding it.
Okay,
now.
so there was a cool, like, whenever he went to go see the old lady and they like are assaulting the house and they end
Yeah.
up blowing it up. Cool scene.
Right.
Sure.
So that's cool scenes.
You know.
I just really enjoyed his whole method.
The Killer.
and
God, that movie's fucking
everything
awful.
about
Yeah.
it was just great.
Fucking boring.
Okay, so the
It's a
fact
great
that
movie.
none of us could remember the name
Yes,
speaks
exactly.
volumes to the fact that it was a mediocre movie at best.
Yeah.
You know the funny
best.
thing, when I started thinking about the movie exactly when you started talking about this, and
Yeah.
I was just like reminiscing. I was like, that was such a cool
So
style.
bad.
That was so
Okay, so then you would
interesting.
love this movie.
You would love
Huh?
this movie because I'm telling you,
Okay.
this movie that he's talking about is like if that movie was good.
Yeah.
Well, that movie was good.
No-
So
no,
then you're
it-
trying to say this is 100% or something.
But
well,
it-
I guess so. If you think The Killer is good, yes, it was The Killer, and it is sitting at 68% rad. But I'm telling you, it's one of the most boring freaking movies.
Because it's
I give
a
it a
good
third.
movie.
It is one of my few bogus scores. Like I hate this movie so much. It's so
Okay, I wouldn't go that far, but
It's-
it was a
it sucks.
disappointment. I will definitely say that. It was not what I was looking for, and it was
See,
a
I thought it was
struggle
rad.
to get through it. Yeah. Well,
absolutely.
like each their own, Matt. You know, I still love you, bud. You're still a good guy.
Thanks.
Just bad taste.
I mean,
No.
listen,
Yeah,
you
Great
can.
it's fine.
Great taste.
Somebody's got to pump
Yeah.
him up. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
I'll
I don't
pump
need to be
you up.
pumped up. I do that to myself.
Pump up the
I
jams.
pump up my own jams.
I hear that there's a medical thing for that where they put it in your testicles and you just squeeze it and
We all know the sound it makes, oddly enough.
yeah.
Because we all have that one.
we
uncle.
all have the old pump up testes. So Matt, speaking of pumped up testes, word on the street is that you have seen Boy Kills World, and if you have anything bad to say about it, people are going to watch a murder on screen.
Man, this
yeah.
somebody on the street's been whispering a whole lot. I've noticed.
We
this
knew-
We
episode.
got a lot of streets
A
around.
lot of streets.
There's streets
talking.
everywhere, and murder happens in all of them, and you're going to be on one of them. So, what did you think about Boy Kills World, man?
Yeah, so we were hyped about it. I listened to y'all's review.
Your wife
We went out,
absolutely
bought
loved
it.
it.
Yeah, she gave it a
We were like,
95.
Pre-ordered it because we were like, gotta get this as soon as possible.
Mhm.
Watched it last night because I was like, I need to talk about this.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
and it was nothing but good things.
Nothing but good things. So you didn't like it, Matt? Go ahead.
You're gonna be one of those people.
Be straight up with us.
You know what? I think Matt might have become full blown, not HIV, but a full blown
I-
critic at this point.
Yes, I think he
Yeah.
is. Well, the thing is, we have a full-blown critic actually that has reviewed this, which is my pal Al, who works for Film Threat, and he gave it an 80%. So, and if you've seen, me and Chris gave it 100% because that's what this movie deserves. Cena gave it 95%. So, Matt,
I gave it
what
100. You
what
gave it
would you
90.
give it as a point?
Yeah, give us your score. Come on.
I can't believe that you. I feel like you're just trying to be contrarian at this point.
Yeah, very contrite.
Yeah. You know me.
Yes, it's contrarian. It's literally contrarian.
Uh-huh.
Like if there was anything, if you were like,
hold on.
what gets
Hold on.
Matt's dick hard? I would be like, being a contrarian.
Stir in the pot.
Being a contrarian.
I'll give this like an 85.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
all right.
Good, there we
Well, that
go.
was
I could-
anticlimactic.
Jesus, you son of a bitch.
I just had to get y'all's goats.
I
knew you
take
guys
back
were so
nothing
hyped
I
about
say,
this,
though.
I had to like play it up.
Yeah.
Everything I said was true.
Yes, we
And I stand by it,
I
even
stand
with an 85.
Yes, you're still a contrarian. Even for dragging us through the mud like this, you're just son of a bitch. Like you deserve everything you got. Everything you
It
got.
was good. It was well done, though.
Oh,
Good
thank you. I thought you guys would call me on it. You were just like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I know what you did. I know what you're gonna do."
I thought
you were just gonna be like, "You're fucking with us."
I thought you were literally gonna ride this shit out until we got off
yeah.
the air, and then you're like, "Oh, I really like this movie. I just wanted to fuck with y'all." But so
Woo!
yeah, an 85. So you liked
Yeah.
it?
No, it's a fun movie.
It's so good.
It's awesome. I laughed a bunch. What's his face? That's Archer. Is just
Oh,
fucking
God,
hilarious.
he's still good. John Benjamin.
God,
H.
And I was like, do you guys think
Yes.
he like that was all scripted,
I don't know.
or do you think he
Maybe.
was like improving it? Like he like watched the scene and then was like, I'm improving this.
Well, how much credit do we want to give to the writers? Is
Right.
really the question there.
Right.
I don't know. I just felt like it was great. Like
It's pretty
his
solid.
commentary the whole time was
Yeah.
It's
just
so funny
great. And I guess it had to be mostly
because
scripted.
it carries the film.
It carried
really does.
without it, this film would have been like okay. The
Right.
action sequences were cool. The reason I'm only giving it an 85 and not like a full 99 by 100,
Right.
I felt like some of the fight sequences were wildly unbelievable. And then some of
And
the
this is coming
camera
from
work-
someone who also doesn't like John Wick either. So
right.
But he also likes fucking specific rim. Like we talk about
Completely different movies.
wildly
You're talking about a different genre.
unbelievable.
No, yeah. When I'm in
just saying
the realm of unbelievable of giant mechs and kaiju's coming out of the ocean.
Yeah, and not putting the invisible
one
sword over
thing.
the portal rather than fighting them in the ocean.
But that's the thing though. You're talking completely different genres of
one
movies.
does not judge Pacific Rim. Okay.
Unless you judge it 100.
This is slander.
like you can call me 2 if you want to, but I'm judging it, so it's fine. I'm just saying if you're putting this in the construct of believability, reality,
Mhm.
like I mean, just saying a little hypocrisy going on here.
It's not hypocrisy. I think
You just mean
I'm
this
just saying
type of action.
well, like in the final fight scene, like some of those wounds
Dude.
he took would have killed him.
Holy shit! They fucking down the river that thing, man.
Yes,
When he was.
yeah.
Twice.
Eventually, which actually makes it more real.
No.
in
And if
my
you
mind.
don't know, I guess let's preface this.
No.
Matt is talking about Boy Kills World. This movie came out just this year.
Yes.
No one saw it.
Really?
We did, and yeah, it did not do great. I'm really bummed. This was a South African film. It is actually has the highest budget of any movie that came out of South Africa ever. And it was actually quite excellent, but basically no one saw it and no one knew that it was coming out. We did, and we reviewed it. You should go check out our review.
So good.
Yeah, it's really great. But and clearly Matt
Yeah.
has some opinions now too. He was out of town when we reviewed
Right.
it, and we were super bummed because when we saw it, we're like, holy shit, Matt and Zena are gonna love this movie.
Yeah.
And so here we are. But I did just
Mhm.
want to preface that by saying, because this has kind of become notorious because it's become this thing where anytime anyone reviews it and it's a low score, I go and harass the shit out of them until either they give it a good score or they like unfriend me. So that's kind of the joke with Boy Kills World, because Chris and I it is the most fun we've had in the theater in a long time.
Literally, we've gushed about this movie so much. I don't want to delve into it, but it is so
Yeah.
good.
So check
Yeah.
out Boy Kills World now that's streaming.
Well,
But-
it's not stream. You have to buy it.
right, you have to buy it.
Yeah.
Buy it.
But I mean, it's worth. So I'm changing my mindset on buying things now.
Right.
After I had to pay for a movie ticket, because I mean, we've been paying for AMC's like
Yeah,
the passes. It's $20 for
A
unlimited movies a month. Well, I went with Xena de Furiosa, and it was $20 for her ticket, and I was like,
Right.
"Crap, that's the price of buying a
Right.
fucking
I could
movie."
buy this movie.
Like,
where we're
okay.
paying $20 a month.
But see, right. And I was like, I might just get you the subs pass and you go once a month. Then
Right.
it's paying for
Right.
itself.
Even if she
Yeah.
doesn't and you go twice the next month, like whatever, like it pays for itself.
Right.
Not a sponsor.
Not a sponsor.
Not a sponsor
Yes.
yet.
Yet. Subs
AMC.
Yes.
We will simp for you.
Yeah, you stole a lot of money from me, thousands of dollars.
Yes.
We won't get into that.
Yeah.
The stock market.
Chris will
is
not simp for
a
you.
piece of shit. No,
Yeah.
nope. I voted for all of you to be not elected whenever that shit came around.
Oh damn.
I
Yeah.
bet they got
Yeah.
elected anyways. I feel like it's all
They
fake.
probably did.
But anyway, so you did like it though.
Yeah, it's a fun movie. It's funny, over the top. It has like a mythical level to it.
Right.
The fight scenes reminded me a lot of The Raid.
Yeah. And they are brutal as shit.
Oh, yeah,
The
dude.
freaking cheese grater scene in this shit, in this
Dude.
movie.
So good.
Oh my god. Cheese grater to the armpit. There's nothing that made my skin crawl worse like ever in my life.
Yes.
Me and Blaine were literally like jumping out of our
Oh yeah.
seats,
We're both sitting there going, ew.
squealing like
Yep.
little scroll girls.
Yep.
and
Yeah.
It was great.
And I was on the edge of my seat going, yes. And Zeno was doing what you guys did, like squirming around next to me on the couch. And I was like, yeah, I mean, I get it, but this is fucking awesome.
And I don't know if you know this, but Andrew Koji, the Asian guy that was the kind of secondary lead, that's actually the lead guy from Warrior, the show that I've been hyping up forever. That was the HBO Max show that got
The
canceled.
shaman?
Warrior.
The show Warrior.
No, but the
his-
character,
his
the
best
shaman.
friend or whatever that he met. No, not the shaman.
Oh,
The young guy with the limp.
Yeah.
He's the lead actor
Okay.
from Warrior.
Yeah. Because I
So-
was thinking about the shaman. That
Right.
actor, he's
He's
been
been
in a
around
bunch of stuff,
forever.
and he's a great fighter. Like
He is.
anything he's fighting in is always just these brutal.
I think he was in
beautiful
the
fight
raid.
scenes.
I'm
He
pretty
is.
sure.
He is. I think
Yeah.
he's
That's
one of the
Yayan
final fighters.
Ruhian.
Dude.
Yan-yan?
Talk about like brutal, beautiful fight scenes. He is there.
There was some great fights in this, and I'm really excited for some of our other viewers that have not had a chance to see this. Like some of our more active people, like I'm As Good Movies and Stand in Mind, and like a lot of people that haven't seen it yet. I'm excited for all you guys to watch this because this movie's cool as shit.
Yeah, I can't wait for you guys to watch it. Also, I hope it. I think you guys should go and buy it. Personally, I
Right.
know it's funny. I don't collect physicals.
Right.
I just don't.
You're a
Like
heathen.
we had a bunch of physicals and we got rid of all the cases and compiled it all down into like books, just because we don't have the space for that.
I mean, you do, but like you don't want to have the space for that.
In your
that is a
4,000
lie.
square foot
Yeah.
house.
That is the
Okay.
biggest fucking lie.
All right.
We are in one of his
yeah.
rooms in his house right now.
Alright.
Delusional.
That-
How many other empty
He's
rooms do you
full
have?
of shit.
That's fine.
This room, the bullshit that's wafting this
He has a
room right
gym
now is
room. He has a
overwhelming.
spare bedroom. He has an office.
He has a room where he just goes to masturbates. That's all it's
Yeah.
for. He just goes and jerks off.
Everybody has a masturbate room. Okay.
Oh yeah. Everybody has one of those.
Everybody has those.
Yeah, mine is also
But
my
so if you want to
bedroom.
know, he had to get rid of all the DVD cases because God forbid he has the space for all of these.
Yeah, they were
movie
taking
boxes.
up like 2 feet by like 6 feet. Up
Hey,
way too much space.
You see that plant over there? Just get rid of that plant and put movies in it. And
Plants
Yeah.
provide.
Here's the
things.
deal,
Plants
if-
provide things,
If you're a member
even though they're
of,
fake.
if you're
they
a
look
member
nice.
of the physical movie group within within Criticalist, if you're in the physical
physicalists.
within Physicalist, if you are in that group, then go and shame Matt right now. Just give him the shame.
I'm not in that group. I literally left the group because I'm literally don't care about physical media.
Oh,
I appreciate it,
You're probably not.
because I'm not cool
but I
enough.
don't.
It's people that
like-
collect things. You just join. it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like collecting things.
I
Also-
grew
That's
up
also true.
with a mentality of not
Being a bitch.
Scarcity.
keeping things.
I know that's true. Yeah, you do. You don't.
And so like
Right.
everything in our house is mostly my wife's. She is the collector.
She is.
I am not the collector.
Yeah.
Xena, join this group.
She is in
She
the
is in
group.
it. She is in it.
All right, she's
He
is
was
she the
probably
leader?
part
all
of
the
getting
time.
rid of all those DVD boxes.
Probably.
Yeah.
All right. So, is there anything else you want to say about Boy Kills World?
I just think everybody should go watch it. And it's interesting
Hell
seeing
yeah.
people come in not liking it.
Right.
And I mean, I get if you don't really like the hyper gore fight scenes, but
Right. Now, some more
So-
came in and gave it a 59, like calls it a mixed bag, wasn't as crazy about it. Like we had Thomas S65, gave it a 70, gave it a rad. We have another 79 from Johnny Talks Horror. And Jack Moody though liked it, gave it a 85.
And what's the current average?
We are sitting currently in critic list at a 77.
Okay.
So we need to creep this up a little more, Matt. When you drop your review,
Yeah.
like we're at 25 reviewers. If we can pull this thing up to a most excellent, I think that's where it belongs. Like it's just so good. It's so good.
Can I just say that it's wild to me, which kind of speaks volumes to just everybody's opinion on movies. Like they
Right.
like different things, but the fact that Furiosa is higher rated than this,
Right. This
It's
is a better.
bonkers.
This
blows
is legitimately
Furiosa out of
a
the water.
much better movie this year than
In
Furiosa.
every aspect, CG, story, acting, fights, everything.
I haven't done it yet. I want to make I need to make a list. I want to make a list and put all of my scores actually listed in there. I want to rank all of my movies for the year
Mhm.
and like
Yeah,
stuff that
I do
we've
that.
reviewed. I want to have a singular list for that. And right now, this is number one of the films
Okay.
that came out this year.
Oh, for sure.
Like this is number one. This is the best movie I've seen this year. So if that
Yeah,
doesn't
I
say
literally
anything,
do that every day. Every time we review something,
I know.
so I keep up with it. So
Well, I want to do it
forget.
for only things that have come out this year.
No, that's what I do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I
and I
need
do
one
it for
of
TV
those.
shows, documentaries, and movies.
Nice.
So that's like how I use our list feature
Right.
on a regular basis.
You have a list for that. I
Yep.
need to do that, but I would like to, so that at the end of the year, especially like the Raven Awards, which is a thing that that Odin does. He does the Raven Awards where he, talks about the best movies of the year, all that stuff. And I would like to be able to. Last year I wasn't able to contribute because I missed a lot of things because I was making this app. But
Yeah.
So moving
Yeah.
on, I
What
guess
do you have?
yes. So I want to talk about a show that none of you have heard about, and I still don't know where I feel about it. It's a show called Bodkin, Bodkin. And this is a show about murder in Ireland. That is
Okay.
what the show
I
is.
was going to say it
Okay.
sounds Australian, but
It's Irish. The weird thing is that this show was executive produced by Barack Obama. I did not know that until just
You
now.
would watch something Barack
I know
Obama
I would,
did.
and explains
You're his
why this
biggest fan.
show has fallen off a cliff. I would say this show. I did not know that this was part of the shows that Michelle and Barack have
Greenlit?
produced. And it was funny because I talked about this back when we did Critically Aroused, and I was talking about how I had a problem with the fact that they were getting into film production and into this whole business. And that was many, many years ago. And now here we are. And I'm talking about a show that I had no idea that they had their fingers in. And they don't advertise it, they don't talk about it, and it makes sense.
Mm.
But this show is, I don't know how I feel about it yet. The
Okay.
weird thing is, it's a show that's set in Ireland, but it actually stars Will Forte, who's an American kind of comedian, funny
Yep.
dude. But this show is not great. It's the most slow burning show I've ever seen in my life.
And it's supposed to be funny, right?
It
Isn't it a
is, but it's-
comedy?
well,
so
it's Will Forte.
it is billed as a mystery drama, actually. It's not even billed as a comedy.
Okay.
He's not playing comedic role. They pull the red herring of like one of the main characters, who's the worst character, is actually gay, and we're gonna like get into lesbian relationships and all this, like 4 episodes in out of nowhere, which has become very common for modern television.
Yeah.
It just comes out of it's stupid. Like it doesn't work. I'm sick of this trope. It's not even funny anymore. Like I don't like it. Will Forte is playing like a very dull version of himself. I don't like it. We've tried to hang in because it's basically the premise of the show is that a guy who's a podcaster goes to Ireland to basically, he's like trying to be this podcaster that has morals, and he's like, I just want to talk about this town and this place called Bodkin, and I don't want to focus too much on the mystery and the murder in this town. I want to know the people. But then there's a mystery and a murder and dead bodies and all of these things. And it's a very interesting concept, but it is so slow burning that by the time that it gets to the meat that's on the bones, I'm like, I don't fucking care, because I'm so bored that like I don't want to watch it anymore. On top of that, like a lot of the show revolves around a bunch of people being involved with all of these murders, like a bunch of people. And they're regularly referencing all of these people's names. And so you have to know 100 different characters' names.
Weird.
And
Seamus O'Houlihan.
Yes, seriously, like this is not a joke. Like there's so many people's names, and they're just like, Seamus knows Blip and Blap over on Flip and Flop, and you need to know that they bip and bapped. And you're just like, what the fuck is going on? Like they're just rattling off all these names. I don't know who these people are. Like this is just convoluted and messy.
Yeah.
And so I would say don't watch Bodkin. It's not great. Like
Okay.
I hate it. Sydney and I have tried to hang it out. We're like 4
That's
episodes.
7 episodes long.
And we're 4 in, and I can tell you that it's still honestly pretty boring and like
Dang.
convoluted. And
Yeah.
it's a shame because I wanted it to be good because I'm like,
Yeah.
cool. Like it involves like weird like eel harvesting and selling, and like there's like they kind of tease in the trailer that there's some kind of sci-fi / like supernatural element to the
Yeah.
show. There's not. That's a fucking lie.
Ah.
Like a cryptid kind of
Yes,
situation.
they make it sound like that's connected to the murders. It's not. It's a
Yeah.
fucking lie. This is all. There's a real story here. It's based in the real world. It's just not. It's not good. It's not.
So, how much time do we have? Because I
I'm
would
4 hours in.
love no with this episode, because I would
We're
love
going.
to dive into why you object to Obama being involved
Oh,
in media.
Well, we talked about it a long time ago. I just find it to be problematic at the very least. Just due to because of the fact now with a show like this, which is like a scripted show, I don't think it's as big of a deal. But the problem is that he's been releasing certain things that are like one of the first things he released was like a reality, like this is a true and it involved a lot of like government kind of conspiracies and things like that. And I'm like,
Okay.
bro, fuck off. Like you shouldn't really be
But we
producing-
enjoy
Huh?
conspiracies. We enjoy that.
We do, but the problem is that like I watched it and it was
Yeah.
complete bullshit, and it was
Like
actual
a
propaganda.
misdirections?
It was fucking propaganda.
Okay.
And like that's the problem is that like this guy has the behind the scenes, like behind the curtain
Mhm.
information, and he's releasing actual propaganda. And which I think like whether it be Trump, whether it be Biden, whether it be anybody, I don't think that they should be involved in media because of the fact of what they know and the level of propaganda that they could produce going forward. I don't care
Okay.
who it is. I don't care
Sure.
if it's Obama or anybody. I
Right.
don't think that they should be involved in any level of media industry because they could produce propaganda that is going to mislead people and misdirect people
Mm.
in ways that is very deceptive and destructive.
It's also weird
You're right.
for a
President.
ex-president to decide that he wants to do like a
Content
media
in media?
production company.
Right.
It's just very strange.
I find it very
like
suspect.
if the
at
Clintons
very
did it,
least.
I definitely wouldn't trust it.
Right.
Who?
As
The
the
Clintons.
Clintons.
Okay.
Right.
So
I wouldn't trust it if it was the Clintons. I don't trust it if it's Obama's. I don't trust it if it's Trump. I don't trust it
imagine
if
if
it's fucking
Bush
any of
did
them.
it. Bush,
Bush
that'd be
did it-
hilarious. I wouldn't trust it.
No, I wouldn't trust it. And I don't trust it if it's Obama. And granted, this is a scripted show. I understand that. But like he has also released things that were more documentary-esque and like in that realm. And I just feel like we're entering like very dangerous territory. And I'm very anti-propaganda. And I think that Obama is a master propagandist. He literally made propaganda. He made it legal when he was president. So like I'm just very much against that. And he is very pro-propaganda.
Mhm.
He has made it very clear that he is. And so I just don't think that he should be involved in media. So that's why I have
It's
to pick up on
interesting.
that.
It's just very anti-libertarian capitalism of denying someone the ability to pursue
I am very
their,
libertarian,
you know?
typically, yes.
No,
But
I
we,
mean,
we
I-
don't live
look.
well, and as I've said many times, if we lived in a libertarian society, I would have more libertarian views en masse in regard to some things like this. But the fact that we don't live in a libertarian society and we are very controlled, I do not think that someone like this should be producing things of this nature.
Okay.
I don't think they should be allowed.
All right.
But that's just my personal opinion.
Yeah. More laws. That's what we want. More
More
government
laws,
control.
more government. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what that's what
Right.
we like to see.
No, yeah, it's just I think it's, and even so, I think even if it wasn't illegal, I find it to be like if I was in those shoes and if I was that person, I would find it suspect. And I would be like, I shouldn't do this. But like Obama is not that type of person. I mean, the dude's a piece of shit, so whatever. But like so is pretty much everybody that's ever ran for president or been president.
Yeah, I
or
don't think you become president
facts.
without.
yeah. So like I don't give a shit. Like it is what it is. But I so that's my problems. I had stated them way back in the day when we did Critically Aroused whenever this news was announced. And clearly now we're at the point when it's coming out.
Yeah.
And so I don't really care that he's involved with this. Like it's not a great
Because this
show.
isn't a documentary.
No.
This is a fiction
Exactly.
made up story.
Right.
kind
And
of
I don't
situation.
care, like honestly, if someone like that was involved with something like this.
Sure.
It's when they start tiptoeing into like real life. That's
Right.
when I start having problems.
That's understandable.
So anyways, but
Yeah.
yeah, so you were gonna talk about something or
I've already talked about both
you've
my
already
things.
talked about both yours?
Yeah.
That's it?
We're
Yeah,
done.
well,
You were
that
the
was
last,
it.
bud.
That was the last. Wow.
Yeah.
So that's everything. Well, guys, this has been fun. Actually, it went slightly longer than I expected to for this.
Yeah.
We've had a fun night
tonight, which today for you, this is just a new episode. And this is the first, as we've called it, Unhinged Binge that I've been on since we've been doing this. Because Chris, you missed the last one. I missed the last one. It was just Matt and Xena, and the one before that. And we've had filming problems. We've changed our process. It seems like things are working.
Yeah.
So we will see.
Fingers
crossed. Yeah, this is the first time in a while we haven't had big issues. So, guys, thanks for joining us. If you've made it this far, then fucking congratulations. This has been fun. This is like I said, we could turn this into a live show where we could really like interact with you guys and talk more and answer questions and really dig into nitty gritty, and we just might. But if we do that, it probably won't be at midnight on a Thursday. We would do this at a different time. So, we will, y'all let us know what you think. And as things go forward and as this show progresses and as we dig into more of doing this type of a show, let us know what you think. And other than that, I think this is,
sorry, send off songs. And then
we'll do our
check
send-off
out
songs.
Yep.
Yeah. So, Matt, do you have your send off song ready?
Yeah. So my song is called Critical Hit by Indigo Blaze.
Nice.
And this is in my same vein of like new metal music I've been listening to. It's a very Limp Bizkit-esque kind of band. And like Chris heard it earlier and he was just like, is this Limp Bizkit? And I was like, no, I mean, Fred Durst still does music. And I literally did a song he was featured on a couple weeks ago. But this just sounds very much like a techno rock Limp Bizkit kind of song. So it's just kind of cool and something different. It's kind of boppy, but also like rap heavy. And I was like, oh, this is fun. So can't stop listening to it.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and do mine. So the song I'm going to be talking about is a song called I Had Some Help. This is a new song by Post Malone and Morgan Wallen. So everybody's been talking about forever, waiting for Post Malone to do his turn to country because he loves country music. His knuckles are covered with like tattoos of country artists. Like we all knew it was coming. He's finally done it. He has a song with Morgan Wallen, and actually he has a song coming out pretty soon. It sounds like with Blake Shelton as well. Like he's working with other country artists. We're all ready for his country album because we all know that Beyonce had no business releasing a country album. Posty does have business releasing a country album. So the song's good. It's fun. It's a neat song. I don't know if have either of y'all heard it?
I have not.
I think you played it for me.
I might have. It's good.
I thought it was forgettable.
Right. Yeah, I mean
but I don't really do country.
No, you don't. Yeah, I mean it's a fun little like like poppy, country.
Oh, it's gonna be popular.
Right.
And I don't know if it's blown up yet, but it will
is.
because it is kind of catchy and kind of poppy and
it's the two
and
of
Post
the
Malone.
biggest
Everyone
stars.
loves, they're
Morgan
both
Wallen.
widely loved currently. So
right,
yeah, it'll do well.
Yeah. So I had some help from Post Malone and Morgan Wallen. It's a fun song. I've been listening to it a lot. My kids like it. We've been putting it on a lot lately. So it's about just homies and getting crunk together and getting into trouble. So
I put it on.
Yeah. Chris, what you got?
I have a song
Mm-hmm.
by Coaley, aka Average D, called
That's their title.
Average D.
Coaley,
The name of your
AKA
sex
Average
tape,
D.
you know what I'm
well,
saying?
it's Coaley, or if you just look up Average D or Averaged, it's kind of puts it all into one. But Coaley, the song is called Whole Foods, and it's just a fun, rappy. It reminds you of Little Dicky.
Okay.
Kind of a situation, the whitest guy you've ever seen in your life
Mm-hmm.
rapping, and it's just funny lyrics, but they bop, so
Nice.
it's a good time. Yeah,
Nice.
it's fun.
Sick.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, guys, I think that has been it. That is our Unhinged Binge for today. It's been a lot of fun. We will see you next time we do this. I will be back technically for you tomorrow for our news segment. And I think that's pretty much it. Next week, we are tossing around what we were watching. I think we had said that actually what it looks like is coming out is the new film from M. Night Shyamalan's daughter, correct? Is that next week?
Yes.
So I'm interested to see what that is. It's called The Watchers. Yeah, it's called The Watchers. I'm game to watch it. And I don't know. Yeah, it's kind of an unknown quantity. Who knows? So this is going to kind of be a suspense thriller. It's not an action or anything like that. So mixing it up a little bit.
Watching The Watchers.
Yeah.
Will it be a Nepto movie?
Yeah.
We shall see.
Yeah.
Yeah. True.
So, all right, guys. Well, it's been real. See you next time. Later.
Peace out.
Out of here.
Your wife